Right, I've said it before, big match tomorrow, but you know, we have to take our chances. We have to risk everything because Empoli are one of those opponents which don't sound like Liverpool or Real Madrid, but I can easily see, and I'm going to repeat this again, I can easily see an upset tomorrow. So we need to take our chances, but, you know, exploit, you know, be very well defensive because they scored 2 goals against Inter Milan. They know how to score. And, you know, in general, I hope we win. Today, in preparation for the match, Mourinho obviously has spoken. After taking a break in the midweek during the Coppa Italia match, he didn't speak then. And last week, it was Roma, Cagliari, and yeah, he did speak. So he's back speaking after a few days. And obviously, general questions today. We've got a big question on transfer market. And I invite you to stay tuned for that. Because the transfer market questions are getting more juicy. You know, we're coming towards the end of the transfer market. Anything else happen through Mourinho's eyes? He spoke about that today, and it's a very big argument, a big topic to talk about. And obviously, he spoke about the Empoli as a team and the players which are going to be available, and unfortunately, the players who can't make it because just like everything, there's bad news in life. But the first question is a typical question, and it's about Smalling. Now, if there is one thing we've understood over the course of this season is that Roma does concede quite a lot of goals. And if there's another thing we have understood over the course of this season is that when Smalling is not in defence, you know, we concede more goals because Smalling might not be Van Dijk, but Smalling is that leader in Roma's defence, which, you know, I think many teams lack. He might, as I said before, he might not be the best of defenders, but he definitely doesn't lack the leadership and the experience. And this is something he can obviously transmit to Kumbula, Mancini, and Ibanez, who, you know, compared to him, are extremely young. So obviously, Smalling has had it was a very, 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 you know, Smalling action month, if we want to call it, because at the start of the month, obviously he refused to take the vaccine, and there was a law going on that after the 10th of January. He couldn't play because he didn't have the vaccine. Then he convinced to take the jab, and after a few weeks he had the vaccine. Now he tested positive for COVID, and now he's back. He tested negative, and this is what Mourinho said, because the question is, at what point is Smalling's recovery, and whether it's his return may suggest a change of scheme, because obviously in the last matches we've seen 4 defenders. Smalling being back, as I said in my predicted 11 yesterday, might mean that we're back to 3 defenders. But this is what Mourinho has to say. Smalling is fine. Maybe not very well, but he is fine. He did 2 training sessions on Friday and today on Saturday. And Thursday, he also trained, but without the team. He also trained at home while he was in lockdown, having the COVID. He's available to play. And if he must, he will play. We have 4 defenders available, including Kumbula, who did not have my total trust 4 months ago, but has now won it with humility and work and hard work and total openness to constructive criticisms. The module, this is a good question, but I don't want to answer it. Now, typical Mourinho. I don't want to answer it. I don't want to give anything away. And we've seen this every time. Why does Mourinho not want to give anything away during press conferences? For the simple reason being that he knows Empoli are a very tough team with a very experienced manager. Manager will probably look at this press conference and he doesn't want to leak anything. Otherwise, it will be a pre-preparation for Empoli. And it's as simple as that. I want to focus on Kumbula here because it's a question related. It's very interesting what Mourinho did. Because it's a question related to Smalling, but 95% of this answer related to Kumbula. Which in my opinion suggests that Smalling will not play tomorrow and we will see Kumbula. Because someone who asks, how is Smalling available for tomorrow? Mourinho barely spoke about Smalling. He talked about Kumbula, and there's a very key sentence on this, which is, we have 4 defenders available, including Kumbula, who did not have my total trust 4 months ago. I feel like Mourinho's giving a sort of contrast when, you know, for what's going on with Kumbula. Kumbula in these last matches had such a rapid increase when it comes to the confidence that I think Mourinho is extremely proud of this. Because it was hard for some players to get and grab a reaction after that Bodo Glimt defeat. Especially if you're a young player like Kumbula, which lacks confidence. Kumbula has said to himself, I'm going to become a new player. And that match against Bodo Glimt will just completely change me. And unlike other players, Kumbula, as Mourinho said, over the course, throughout a lot of hard work, throughout a lot of humility, and total openness to criticisms, Kumbula has improved. And this, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, suggests something. And it suggests that Kumbula will start tomorrow again. Because also, if we want to focus on Smalling, Mourinho said Smalling is fine, maybe not very well. He trained on Friday, Saturday, and Thursday he trained without the team. He also trained at home. He's available to play. If he must, he will play. I feel like Kumbula will start tomorrow. And what we need to get and absorb out of this quote is exactly this. Because Mourinho is giving us clues that Smalling is not 100% fit. And in such an important match, such as tomorrow's match, which is a very important match for the simple reason being Lazio-Atalanta tonight, it's a very big match. It's important, and it's so important to win tomorrow. And I can't stress this enough. So, it's important to have players which are ready to play. And what I think Mourinho is saying is that Smalling is not 100% fit. And Kumbula with such great confidence lately, I think will be the final blow tomorrow. And I think it will start tomorrow. Now, the second question is a question which I think I don't like. I really don't like. But it's such a trend, and we've seen this question being asked so many times. Abraham. I think journalists... Look at this question. I'm going to get straight into it. Abraham, without comparison, how much room does this boy have for growth? It's, yes, I understand it as a question. I understand, why you want to ask this to Abraham's manager. But first of all, why Mourinho's basically answered this in every press conference. And second of all, these questions put extreme pressure on players. Now let's focus on the positive side and let's see what Mourinho said, answering to this question. Because Abraham, without comparison, how much room does this guy have for rapid growth? Mourinho said this: where can we go with him and where can he go with us? It is not doing badly, it's his first season. He has changed football. He has changed the culture that he was used to. He changed the competitions he was used to. The numbers are the same. Without penalties, and their numbers that, with many players, scoring under penalties. But what Mourinho said in a very short sentence is, but I expect more. It is room for improvement, not just in terms of numbers. We're all together and we hope that the growth of individuality is parallel to the team. And this is exactly why I hate this question. Because now, Mourinho said, honestly, I expect more from him. It's going to put him on immense pressure. And I think, yes, constructive criticisms is always good. But I think for the first season in the Serie A, for a young lad like Tammy Abraham, for, someone who comes from a different league, we can't expect more. He is doing extremely well. He's the best player at our club. He's grinding more and more. He's scoring more constantly. He's grabbing that, physique which Dzeko left. And he's grabbing also the footprint which Dzeko left. Tammy Abraham has scored as many goals as Dzeko has over the course of the first season. I think we can't expect more from him. So, once again, this guy is incredible, incredible statistics, incredible numbers. But Mourinho says himself, but I expect more. To be honest with you, I expect more as well. But, I will take what I have from Tammy over the course of this first season. Because he's changed this, just trace what Tammy went through, right? Moving from a completely different league. And trust me, the Premier League is, God, a very different league from this area. Second, different competitions. Because the FA Cup, the Coppa Italia are very different. The Premier League and the Serie A are very different. The Champions League and the Conference League are very different. So that is, is also a massive, massive factor. Third of all is age. I genuinely think we can't expect more from Abraham, and he's doing it extremely well. I think he's grinding more and more over the course of the second half of the season. He's already at 15 goals. We're like halfway through the season. He can score and he can reach easily. If he keeps on with this rhythm, scoring in every match, he can reach the 30 goals over the end of the season. And if he does that, I can't expect more from someone who is young and who came from a completely different league. So, I think, we take what we have and I'm happy with him. We're happy with him. And, So, third, this is the interesting one. This is the transfer market done according to Mourinho? And this is interesting because while I'm going to read this to you, this quote Mourinho said, I want you to, to just trace back in these last couple of days, all these live streams that, I provided about the transfer market. Remember, many names are close to Roma. Kamara, Ndombele, just trace all of those live streams back in your head while you're listening to this. Because this is, does Mourinho expect something from the transfer market now that we're coming close to the conclusion of it? And the question is, the market is obviously still open, and are the incoming and outgoing is the outgoing and incoming market transfer window for Roma still, do we expect something else, basically? And Mourinho said, maybe I was wrong to say it was closed or not, or I didn't explain myself. The market is open. If the question is whether I expect it, then no, I don't expect anything. Disposals, it depends on how you interpret things. It's a bit strange because every time a player goes to the bench or plays less or doesn't play, it seems that the solution is to give him up. If so, it's complicated. We always talk. Veretout has been on the bench for one game, and according to many people, he's already on sale. Carles Perez plays, he goes out, and now he's basically, according to many people, he's about to get sold. It is not this way. The squad we have now, I think, will stay the way until June. In fact, we changed 4 players with little use with 2 players who've made more minutes in just 2 games. It is a strategy of structure of the squad. Oliveira giving options in the midfielder. Maitland-Niles giving protection to Vina and Karsdorp. I'm happy because we did what we had to do and what we wanted to do on the January the 10th and not the January the 31st. Very big statement. The others, Perez has often been a starter. We need squad, not people who go out. Very, very interesting. Just to sum up the answer, does Mourinho expect something else? No. The answer is that. But I think he said a very interesting thing. Because what I think, journalists get wrong, and fans yourselves, I get it wrong myself, we all together get this wrong, is something which Mourinho wants to emphasize over the course of this small quote, which is, if someone for one match sits on the bench, or if someone doesn't play a good match, and then for the following match he doesn't play, Mourinho, journalists and fans think that that player is out of the squad, out of Mourinho's project. And this is something Mourinho wants to emphasize on, because it's not as easy as that. It doesn't work that way. The transfer market, the disposal of players does not work like that. Because otherwise, it would be too easy. Someone doesn't perform well, grab, get him, go away. Someone doesn't perform well, put him on the bench, I'm done with him, go away. There's something in football called giving players chances. Obviously, there are players which, Mourinho gave them chances and they just can't perform. But there are players which have ups and downs, and I'm speaking about Veretout. Now, I have said it myself that if a big offer comes for Veretout in the summer rather than in the January, around 30 to 35, maybe 40 million, God accept it, because who can buy a much better player for that price? But what I am getting wrong, maybe other people are getting this wrong, is that the fact that Veretout is having a down period, it's a roller coaster. Veretout's on a rapid descent. It doesn't mean that he's completely out of this project. And with the arrival of Oliveira, it doesn't mean that as well. And this is something that get my head straight, because Mourinho is emphasizing, stop doing that. If one player is sitting on the bench, it's not because he's out of my project. Obviously there are players like Cortez Perez which have had God knows how many chances this season, but just can't get into that Mourinho style of playing. That, after giving them multiple chances, is when you consider, doing the best for the player, which is leaving, because he hasn't integrated well, he hasn't adapted well. The best option for him and his football career is to leave. With Veretout, it's another, and Mourinho's emphasizing this. And what I think we need to take out of this quote is, Mourinho doesn't expect anything else. Mourinho doesn't want journalists to say, oh, that guy's out of the project because he's not playing, because it doesn't work like that. And third of all, he's happy that all the transfer market deals happened at the start of January rather than the end, which is emphasizing how much the squad depth had to be improved. Right, I'm done with this quote. Moving on to the last quote, we have got, obviously, coming towards the match, what does Mourinho feel? Giving us, short analysis of Empoli as a team overall. A team which has beaten very top big clubs this season. Napoli away, Juventus away. They were almost about to kick Inter out of the Coppa Italia. It's going to be a hard match. We're playing in Empoli, and I do think we will definitely concede. I think in defense we have been absolutely shit lately, and I think we will concede tomorrow. I just hope we win, and I don't care how we win. I just need the 3 points tomorrow. I'm going with a 2-1 Roma win, just to keep the positivity going. But last quote is about Empoli, and Mourinho said, fantastic work Andrazoli and the team are doing. I'm sure it won't be easy. We have to play very well, and that's it. The numbers, they have a high average goal in the last few games. It's a team that scores, knows how to score, knows how to play, and knows how to defend. It is a team that has an ambition to win. But these teams that play between European positions and salvation and relegation are teams that play calmly, without pressure. And it's easy to play like that. It will be a difficult race for me. Very tough match. Now, what I want to just say is something Mourinho said, which is these teams which are in the middle of the table play more calmly than teams who are fighting for relegation and teams who are fighting for Champions League European title spot. So, when it comes to being lucky, I think the only lucky factor is that Empoli isn't fighting for anything in a way. They did what they had to do, which is to fight for relegation. They're nowhere close to relegation zone. If something, they actually want to try and get in a conference league. Obviously, there are bigger clubs. I think Empoli is in a position. They did what they had to do in the first round of the season. They're not fighting for anything. Maybe the conference league, but tough teams, obviously. And they're a very weird team because they win big matches, and then 2 weeks ago they lost 5-1 against Sassuolo. Very tough match. Mourinho said calm, good balance. And we need to win. He agrees, just like we do. The most important thing tomorrow is the win. I don't care how it happens. An own goal, a penalty, a free kick, a worldie, a solo goal. I don't care. We need the 3 points. Because the 3 points tomorrow would launch us back great into Europa League spot. Maybe. Virtually. In speech markets, I'm going to leave it like that on a Champions League note. Because Atalanta is playing tonight against Lazio. But they have had a COVID outbreak. They have a lack of attackers. So I highly think Lazio will win tonight, but hopefully not, because Lazio is another great team we're competing against. So tonight, all we need to hope is a draw, to keep a fight against the rivals Lazio and maybe keep, I don't know, I'm just going to leave it out there, vanishing in the air, Champions League dream. It's going to be hard, but obviously if we want to hope in these objectives, we have to win tomorrow. No further discussion. We have to beat Empoli and get the 3 points. I will catch you tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Subscribe if you're new. Thank you so much for 1.9k. Let's get this channel to 2,000 subscribers as soon as possible. Like this live stream as soon as it becomes a video as well. And comment in the comments your impressions of this press conference. If you agree with me, if you agree with Mourinho, and if you disagree with him, let us know. And follow me on Instagram at LowerScore, the Simon Show. And DM me, we'll talk about football. And also, set reminder tomorrow, live watch along at 6 p.m. Italian time, 5 p.m. UK time, wherever you're from. Figure it out, figure the time